Welcome to the March 26, 2026 Social Service Human Relations Board meeting. This meeting is being recorded. The chat function has been turned off. If members of the public would like to comment on an item, there are multiple options to do so. If attending via Zoom, digitally raise your hand and Secretary Mana Ayan will announce when it is your turn. You will then have the option to unmute yourself and proceed with your public comment. Email your public comments to Secretary Mana Ayan at gmannaayon@alamedaca.gov. Before, during the meeting, with your name, the agenda item number you're referring to, and your comment. Comments submitted during the meeting before the conclusion of the public comment section will be read into the record. Her email address is also on the meeting's agenda. If you're calling in by phone, please email Ms. Mana Ayan as we cannot see you raise your hand. You can also dial *9 to raise your hand and we will call on you. To provide a public comment in person, please complete a public comment slip with your name and the agenda item number you will be speaking on. You will be called when it is your turn. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. The public has 2 opportunities for public comments. First, under agenda item 2, public comments. Comments from the audience may concern matters not on the agenda, but must deal with matters subject to the jurisdiction of the Social Service Human Relations Board. Second, under each agenda item, there will be an opportunity for public comment on a specific item. Each item follows a format similar to City Council meeting. First, after a presentation, we will ask if there are any clarifying questions from Shrub members for staff. Then we will ask if there are any public comments on this agenda item, and after public comment, we will open the item for discussion and a vote if recommended. We are now calling this meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. We will be doing a roll call, and actually all votes will be by roll call tonight because we have people who are not present in the room. Robbie Kreitz.
Present.
Chantel Carter.
Present.
Bernie Wolf.
Here.
Joe Bryant. Michelle Buchholz.
Here.
Samantha Green.
Here.
And Scott Means here. And I think they both have to say why they're attending remotely, or they have to do that.
Michelle's location is on the agenda,
Okay,
but Sam, yeah.
so you're supposed to say, yeah.
Hi, I have sick at home.
Thank you, for the record, yes. And we also have joining us from Housing and Human Services Division, Darcy Mana Ayan, Program Manager, and Shelby Neal, Administrative Specialist. We're going to go on to item 2, non-agenda public comments. The city welcomes speakers providing public comment, but please be advised this is a limited public forum. Comments from the audience may concern matters either on or not on the agenda, but must deal with matters subject to the jurisdiction of the Social Service and Human Relations Board. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Comments concerning matters on this evening's agenda will be heard when that item is called. If speakers fail to follow these rules, they will be warned, and if they continue to disregard the rules, their opportunity to speak will end. Okay. Do we have any people who would like to speak?
Yes.
Looks like we have a public speaker, public comment.
We have a public speaker.
Speaker's list. We have Corinne Kirschbaum.
Great, and we have 3 minutes. Whenever you start, we'll start the clock.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Unfortunately, the person who did this is not here. But let me be absolutely clear. You had no right to publicly speak about me that way. You are not a doctor. You are not an evaluator. You're not a therapist. And not anyone with authority, training, or personal knowledge to make statements about my mental health. Yet you chose to sit in a public meeting and label me anyway. That was arrogant, reckless, stigmatizing, and completely inappropriate. I came before this board to speak about real issues affecting real people, instead of doing what you are there to do, which is listen, ask questions, and follow up. You chose to dismiss me with a cheap personal attack that says far more about your character, judgment, and fitness to serve in a representative role than it does about me. You are supposed to represent people. You are supposed to be a voice for the community, but what you actually showed was contempt. You showed that when someone speaks in a way that makes you uncomfortable, rather than address the substance, you insult them, degrade them, and try to discredit them in public. You can roll your eyes. I don't care. Your opinion means nothing to me. That is disgraceful. Let me remind you of something. Raising my voice is not a diagnosis. Passion is not a diagnosis. Being hurt, frustrated, or speaking forcefully after being ignored for 4.5 years is not a diagnosis. Disagreeing with the board does not make someone mentally ill. Telling truths that you do not want to hear does not make someone mentally ill. What you did was weaponize a mental health label as an insult, and that is ignorant, offensive, and beneath anyone claiming to advocate for vulnerable people. You do not know me. You have never spoken with me privately. You have never investigated what I raised. You have never followed up, and still you felt comfortable smearing me in front of the public. That was not representation. That was cowardice. I am a 30-year educator. I am a human being. Grow up. And I will not stand by while you or anyone else tries to erase my life, my work, my credibility, and my voice by reducing me to ugly stereotypes simply because I spoke up. So here's what I expect. I expect you to publicly retract your statement. I expect you to acknowledge that what you said was inappropriate. And I expect this board to start behaving like adults who are capable of listening to public comment without resorting to insults, stigma, and character attacks.
Thank you very much for your comment. I'm sorry, I'm very sorry for your
Who
time.
come before you, then you are not serving the community.
Yes,
you are failing it. You do not get to
I'm sorry,
humiliate
time is up,
me
miss.
and call it concern.
You're going to
You do
just
not get to
continue talking.
defame me and call it opinion.
I'm
And
very
you do
sorry,
not
but
get
you
to
need to
hide
stop
behind
talking.
your seat on that board while acting in a way that is unprofessional, prejudiced, and cruel. You need to do better. You sit there and you say you want to know. You
really
want to
appreciate
know.
everything
You
you
want
said.
to know. But have
Perhaps
any of
you
you
please
read the
stop talking.
contracts? Have any of you read the contracts? Have you read the contracts? No, you still haven't. Have you read the 5-year plan that is over with? No, you haven't. Have you ever come down and spoke to the community of
Thank you, we are back. It is 7:41 p.m. and I'm sorry about the disruption. We are going to continue on with the minute, item number 3. Yes, minutes. The review and approval of minutes. I'm going to put forth a motion to approve the minutes for February 26, 2026. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. We have to do a roll call vote. Robbie Kreitz?
Yeah, oh, yes,
Chantel Carter? Bernie Wolf? Gerald Bryant?
Yep.
Michelle Buckles?
I abstain. I wasn't at the meeting.
Thank you. Samantha Green?
Yes.
Scott Means. Gotta keep me honest there, Michelle. All right, we got the minutes done. Now we're here on page 2. Okay. There are, item 4, the presentation on school board-based centers by Kyle Sinkoff and Catherine Schwartz, Alameda Family Services, is going to be postponed till the next meeting. Item 4B, UC Berkeley Public Health Project Update, will be postponed until the next meeting. 4C, discussion on Social Service Human Relations Board Work Plan. Each year, the Shrub presents an annual work plan to the city council for its consent. Shrub's annual work plan is typically approved by the board at its April meeting in order to be presented to the city council at its first meeting in June. The Social Service Human Relations Board will break up into committees to discuss overall impact of each group. And we have decided that those work groups are going to meet, since they are under quorum, we're going to meet independently in those groups between now and our next meeting, rather than doing it tonight.
Who are the members of the work groups?
Okay, so that would be, you know, the first one I sent you? We're gonna go back with that one, because if we meet in person, we can have 3 people. So we don't need to actually have it set up. Do you happen to?
The one where you have people and multiples?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Do you want me to read
we
that out?
checked in to, yeah, do you mind if Shelby reads it in?
So the Road Home and Age Friendly Work Group would be Samantha Green, Michelle Buchholz, and Scott Means. Alameda United Against Hate would be Gerald Bryant, Chantel Carter, and Samantha Green. Domestic Violence Committee would be Bernie Wolf, Robbie Kreitz, and Chantel Carter.
Is that correct with everyone?
Yes.
That's great. So we don't need to actually vote on that.
No, and we'll be scheduling meetings with you all to meet in committees.
Okay. And you don't have anything else to say about
I
this?
don't.
Okay, that's fine. We can pursue this. All right, so.
Aggressive, will you be part of those meetings?
Yeah,
Okay, just gonna do it.
I usually am. The committee meetings that we have
Yeah.
monthly.
Yeah.
I'm talking, it'll be like the ones that you and I have on Monday.
Yeah, we'll just add the folks to our meeting and make sure
Yeah.
it works with their schedule.
How long do you typically meet? It's like,
About 30
About a
minutes.
half hour.
oh, okay. So you may need a little longer, that's all, yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Because you go over your meeting for an hour, just an hour and a half meeting, that's too long. Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then we can move on. Does anyone else have any questions, comments about that? Great. Work groups, I think Bernie, you have something.
What's that?
Oh, for the work group reports, item 4D is for board discussion only. Did you say you had anything?
No, I'm gonna defer until next meeting.
Oh, you are gonna defer, okay. Well, do you have anything that you need to, that's like important in terms of dates or anything like that?
Nope, everything is something that can be discussed later.
Okay,
You should report on your open mic.
I'll give that credit. We did do our open mic. Sorry for y'all that did not get a chance to attend. It was wonderful. The young folks came in and they spoke really well. Some of them showed their artwork. Their artwork was really impressive. These were very nervous kids. Most of them were not used to public speaking or even being in a crowd of the type that we had. So it was very nice to see them come together. There were enough prizes and everybody got a prize. The only thing that I didn't really see that I was hoping to get more of was more of the adults to come in and actually spend time and see what was going on. The kids were there. They showed up in force to take care of what they knew was rooting for their friends that were up there actually doing it. So overall, I have to say it was a wonderful, wonderful program, and looking forward to next year's season of nonviolence.
yeah. I love that last poet, and she was an 11th grader, so that means you might be able to hear something again next year.
Next year, that's my hope. You know, they have, the rest of them were all seniors. Yeah, I have to say, she was pretty remarkable as the young lady goes, and her story was well written, or well discussed. I'll just say well discussed. I was very surprised to hear her speak of such a topic and speak with real heart, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Highly recommended. Thank you, Gresser.
And just for the one thing for the age-friendly Alameda is we will be having our survey go out in May.
Great.
Along with Older Americans Month, which also is May. Anything else, Samantha or Michelle, on work groups?
I just announced that we have upcoming overdose prevention trainings scheduled throughout the city. partnered with a great Alameda County-based community partner to lead those trainings.
Awesome.
Yes, I will tell you the dates in just one moment. I believe it is May. We have one on May 7th. We have one on June 11th. And then we have a third in July. One moment. I believe it is July 29th. So those are our 3 overdose response training dates.
Thank you. Where are you gonna be located?
It will be held at the Albert H. DeWitt Officers Club, also known as the O Club,
Oak Club.
which is on the base.
You just send that out to all staff.
The only other thing is, Scott and Michelle and I have been discussing a well-being survey and the potential of doing a community satisfaction survey. So it's a kind of a standard. It's like if you say like the happiest places on earth, right? Those just came out recently. They do it as an annual report. Anyway, there are global measures that people do. We can't get it down to the size of Alameda from the data that they pull. And so we thought maybe we would try and get our own sample of community residents in Alameda to see kind of where we were on that happiness index. So it's something that we're discussing as a group.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you for remembering Samantha. All right. We can go to item 5, staff communications.
Okay, I will do that. Okay. Okay, so staff updates for Housing and Human Services. We have CDBG funding recommendations will be taken to council for approval on May 5th. This will include public services, economic development, capital improvements, residential rehab, carry forward projects, and home, HOME projects. We're also seeking approval for the 2026-27 annual action plan, which covers our achievements over the past years, goals and objectives for the upcoming program year, citizen participation efforts, etc. The Housing and Human Services Division is currently conducting a community needs assessment. Our goal is to better understand the needs and priorities of our community as it pertains to human, social, and housing services so we can improve program service delivery. Your responses are anonymous and will help us shape programs and resources that support residents. You can find the link to the survey on the City of Alameda Housing and Human Services website under the Community Needs Assessment Survey section, and you are all invited to fill it out as well. Community survey time extended to allow for multiple language accessibility.
It was brought to our attention it was only in English, so
yes.
we're extending the time so it's accessible for multiple languages.
For an additional 30 days for several languages. We had a second stakeholder session that occurred on March 11th. That is part of that needs assessment process. Our engagement specialist team continues to work diligently, moving people off the street and into shelter. In the month of March, they exited 3 people into transitional housing and 5 into emergency shelter from unhoused homelessness. For an inclusionary housing update, the city's program administrator, Rise Housing, recently held a workshop with the moderate income waitlist members who opted in to be considered for the 3 homes currently being sold in that program. The city has reviewed some of the completed application files with Rise and has issued decisions that will be provided in the waitlist ranking order. And that concludes the staff updates.
Thank you. Thank you. This is a non-comment item. Okay, so move on to, staff report on the City of Alameda's Housing and Human Services. Is that separate?
That's what I just did.
Oh, you said, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little bit shaky too, I think. Number 6, board communications. I'm just gonna jump right into a couple things real quick, if that's okay. The League of California Cities met today and they've adopted a change in language. They are now using the term older adults as every time possible instead of seniors in reference to older adults. They don't mention the word elders, but that's also a nice one to throw in there. It shows a little extra reverence and respect. But yeah, so older adults instead of seniors. And with that in mind, the Older Americans Month this year, the theme in May is going to be Champion Your Health. And I'll be talking more about that in April and leading up into May. But I actually wrote and submitted a proclamation to the mayor for consideration to read in May in honor of that. And that is something for especially the new members here. The proclamation is something that can be done through the process of the city to recognize things that are happening. Anyway, just for that, does anyone else have any other board communications? We're good. We're all good, really? Okay. Well, then, without further ado, we will, what time is it? Mike, we will adjourn this meeting at 7:54 p.m.
It's gotta be a record.
Hi, Sam, Michelle.
It was,
Feel better.